This is the Moza FSR2, one of Moza's latest flagship Formula-style wheels and the successor to their already high-end FSR wheel. But despite the upgrade, the FSR2 still has some noticeable downfalls that, depending on how you feel about them, might make or break this wheel for you. Let's talk about them. Now, I would be lying if I were to say that I wasn't really excited when it first arrived months ago, so much so that I forgot how to correctly set up my camera. And why wouldn't I be? The box is incredibly premium, showcasing classic Moza packaging with the key features listed on the side and an incredibly premium and sturdy inner protection. The FSR2 sits in the mid to high end of Moza's now very extended lineup, and with a $650 price tag, it's going toe to toe with top tier wheels like the Acertec Forte Formula Pro and Simagic FX Pro, with some honestly great features for the price, with its construction first and foremost being incredible, with not only this incredibly sturdy 5mm thick carbon fiber faceplate, but also a lot of metal parts around the wheel. A 280mm diameter finishes off the wheel, with these nice, almost cooling leather grips that I've come to love over the last 8 months driving with this wheel. Moving on, scattered across the front of the wheel are plenty of inputs, knobs, dials, buttons, and of course the main star of the show, the 4.3-inch fully customizable touchscreen. As I'll get onto in just a second, so much of this wheel can be customized through Moza's Pithouse software. Other key features include the massive amount of RGB indicator and rev lights, and turning around to the back, the triple carbon fiber magnetic paddle shifters, and this RJ12 connector that can be used to connect this wheel rim to any third-party wheelbase, granted with a $40 adapter. Spec sheet aside, the FSR2 brings some serious peace of mind thanks to Moza's brilliant Pithouse software. I mean, even months after its release, the customization is still incredible. LEDs, rev lights, button telemetry, the touchscreen, it all just works. You can bind flashing lights to your pit limiter, set a button to show the fuel level, or, get creative and turn the entire thing into a giant rev strip. Whether you're smart or creative, you'll have options. You can also change clutch paddle modes to have a singular clutch bite point, or set the paddles to different axes and even bind one button to trigger another. And because this is one of Moza's few wheels with a full display, you also get access to the Dash Display Editor, a surprisingly powerful tool that's had a myriad of upgrades and changes since I first received this wheel in July of 2025. Now, I can already hear the comments, it's not compatible with SimHub. Fair enough. But here's the thing, Moza's Dash Editor really has come a long way since its inception. It's not quite SimHub, sure, but it's shockingly close. And their Discord server already has hundreds of custom dashboards built by the community, so honestly, I don't see as much of a problem as I originally thought I would. Not to mention, even when Pithouse is turned off, the wheel still fully works, thanks to built-in storage and its own processor that lets it run dashboards on its own. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of, if not the best in-house softwares I've used with a sim wheel. It integrates beautifully with Moza's ecosystem and genuinely makes the entire experience feel quite cohesive, and it's great to see Moza constantly adding new features to their software. Not to mention Moza's constantly releasing new wheels with digital displays on them, giving Moza even more of an incentive to update their software, which is a huge win for us as users. You know what else is as seamless as Moza's software though? This transition to talking about today's sponsor. I mean my channel members, as well as all 1,700 of my subscribers. That's quite a lot. Thank you. And if you subscribe too, you'll also get notified of every upcoming upload. And for those, there are quite a few. So hit the subscribe button. Right, so how does the Moza FSR2 actually feel out on circuit? Well, over the last 8 months of racing with it, I've logged countless hours and I have plenty to say. First off, this wheel is an absolute unit once mounted onto my Moza R12 base. Thanks to its full metal quick release, I found zero flex, regardless of base or force applied. Whether I was driving Formula 4, F3, F1, GTP or GT3, the rigidity held up, likely thanks to that chunky carbon fiber plate up front, with no creaks, rattles, or weird flex under pressure. And with its 280mm diameter and well thought out button layout, every input is within reach. The triple paddles, knobs, and dials are all easy to access while driving, and thanks to Moza's continued software updates, each button can light up individually with telemetry effects, a feature I'd sorely been missing from previous Moza wheels. Button feel is also fantastic. They have a soft, squishy travel with a crisp click, with no weird vibrations transferring through the wheel after pressing them. As well as this, the leather grips helped my hands stay icy cool during intense races. When I first got this wheel, I was more on the fence on how I felt about the perforated grips, but after having used them, I can confidently say these will not only last ages, but are among some of the best non-rubber grips I've ever used. In the summer and in the winter with the heating turned up, my hands never got disgusting and oily, and the nice perforated finish never wore off, a huge plus coming from someone who's used Alcantara wheels before. And now onto the main star of the show, the 4.3-inch touchscreen display. With the limited amount of displays currently available, you're most likely going to have 2, maybe 3 community-made ones and just stick to those 2, is what I would say if it weren't for Moza bringing out a few actually decent dash displays most recently, and the community's amazing devotion to bringing out even more in the last few months since my original first impressions. How I have mine set up is that I have a Formula dashboard that I made myself, a looping video of my logo for use in these videos, a GT3 dashboard for, well, GT cars, and then a settings page where I can set the screen brightness, LED brightness, and more out on circuit. And while driving, I really found myself looking at the screen more than the in-game dash for quick updates on delta, brake bias, and more. So I'd say the screen's been a welcome addition. And finally, function aside, how a wheel looks is also incredibly important to a lot of us, myself included. And while I would say this wheel looked ugly online, after having seen it in person, it really does look stunning. The way that the carbon fiber reflects in the light and the choice of materials really sells this wheel. My only real issue with this wheel is the fact that it seems incredibly difficult to swap the stickers underneath the dials, as well as the fact that the buttons you get on this wheel are permanent. You cannot physically change them unless you take this wheel apart and use your own, which I'm fairly certain voids any hope of a warranty. This isn't too bad though, as you can yet again set the lights up to show different telemetry, and on a future FSR or high-end Moza wheel, I'd like to see something similar to what Fanatec or Asher Racing do, with the replaceable button caps with the RGB lights being able to shine through. So with all of that said, if this were to disappear from my rig tomorrow, would I miss this wheel rim? And should you pick the FSR2 up for yourself? Well, this is definitely a mid to high-end wheel for mid to high-end sim racers, with both the quality and the features to suit. From the great inputs to amazing rigidity to great software, Moza have absolutely knocked it out of the park with the FSR2. The only thing I wish this had would be SimHub, or a more user-friendly dash creator interface. Though, as I mentioned, there are plenty of incredibly talented people out there on the internet who are actively giving life to Moza's more archaic dash editor. Special thanks once again to everyone who subscribed to SimPulse, and if you haven't already, it's only one click away. Thank you and goodbye.